to Wicked Felina. I'm Felina. 2017 was a year of unrelenting bias, unfair news coverage, and even downright fake news. Studies have shown that over 90% of the media's coverage of President Trump is negative. Below are the winners of the 2017 Fake News Awards. 1. The New York Times' Paul Krugman claimed on the day of President Trump's historic landslide victory that the economy would never recover. Paul Krugman says markets will never recover from Trump. Dow hits record high. 2. ABC News' Brian Ross chokes and sends markets in a downward spiral with false report. ABC demotes Brian Ross after a bungled report on Trump, Russia. 3. CNN falsely reported that candidate Donald Trump and his son Donald J. Trump Jr. had access to hacked documents from WikiLeaks. December 8, 2017. CNN botches dates inaccurately, reports Trump campaign had WikiLeaks sneak peek. Four, Time falsely reported that President Trump removed a bust of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. 5. Washington Post falsely reported President's massive sold-out rally in Pensacola, Florida was empty. Dishonest reporter showed picture of empty arena hours before crowds started pouring in. Donald J. Trump at Real Donald Trump, Twitter. Dave Weigel at Washington Post put out a phony photo of an empty arena hours before I arrived at the venue, with thousands of people outside on their way in. Real photos now show, as I spoke, packed house, many people unable to get in, demand apology and retraction from fake news. WAPO, 5:01 p.m., December 9th, 2000. 6. CNN falsely edited a video to make it appear President Trump defiantly overfed fish during a visit with Japanese Prime Minister. Japanese Prime Minister actually led the way with the feeding. 7. CNN falsely reported about Anthony Scaramucci's meeting with a Russian, but retracted it due to a significant breakdown in process. 3 CNN employees resign over retracted story on Russia ties via WashingtonPost.com. 8. Newsweek falsely reported that Polish First Lady Agata Kornhauser-Duda did not shake President Trump's hand. It looks like she did, and she's looking lovely too. 9. CNN falsely reported that former FBI Director James Comey would dispute President Trump's claim that he was told he's not under investigation. 10. The New York Times falsely claimed on the front page that the Trump administration had hidden a climate report. New York Times guilty of a large screw-up on climate change story via WashingtonPost.com. And last but not least, 11. Russia collusion. Russian collusion is perhaps the greatest hoax perpetrated on the American people. There is no collusion. Donald J. Trump at Real Donald Trump. Well, now that collusion with Russia is proving to be a total hoax, and the only collusion is with Hillary Clinton and the FBI, Russia, the fake news media mainstream and this phony new book are hitting out at every new front imaginable. They should try winning an election. Sad. 9:32 a.m., January 5th. While the media spent 90% of its time focused on negative coverage or fake news, the president has been getting results. The economy has created nearly 2 million jobs, gained over 8 trillion in wealth since the president's inauguration. 2. African Americans and Hispanics are enjoying the lowest unemployment rate in recorded history. 3. The president signed historic tax cuts and relief for hard-working Americans not seen since President Reagan. Say that as if you're speaking of a saint. 4. President Trump's plan to cut regulations has exceeded 2 out for every 1 in mandate, issuing 22 deregulatory actions for every 1 new regulatory action. 5. The president has unleashed an American energy boom by ending Obama-era regulations, approving the Keystone Pipeline, auctioning off millions of new acres for energy exploration, and opening up Anwar. 6. ISIS is in retreat, having been crushed in Iraq and Syria. 7. President Trump followed through on his promise to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of the State of Israel and instructed the State Department to begin to relocate the embassy. 8. With President Trump's encouragement, and more member nations are paying their fair share with the common defense in the NATO alliance. 9. Sign the Veterans Accountability and Whistleblower Protection Act to allow senior officials in the VA to fire failing employees and establishes safeguards to protect whistleblowers. 10. President Trump kept his promise and appointed Associate Justice Neil Gorsuch to the U.S. Supreme Court. Could we ask for more? In fact, it was almost impossible with the Republicans and Democrats fighting against him, and every day this nonsense of the Russian collusion, which we know who colluded with Russia, and it wasn't Trump. It's amazing what he's done, and I don't think that there is anyone out there that could fight against this and survive and be just to be alive every day with new hope and promise and love for America, even for the people that are fighting against him, wanting to destroy him. I know this would have destroyed me and most people out there. I'll have to admit that. But by God's grace, we got the right man. God bless you.